Hey Aries, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be doing your February general reading here. So I just came out of meditation for you and it was short but oh so sweet. I saw the Nine of Wands, but as it's depicted within the Wild Unknown deck by Krans. So although it was kind of like a different Harry Potter staircase take on that. So I saw that image of the staircase as it's depicted in that deck, but then I saw like two more staircases and a lot of staircases leading up to this upward precipice point where I saw you as the Aries collective standing there, and I heard you say, when I help others, I help myself. When I help others, I help myself. And then I saw you kind of be, I don't want to say sucked through, but let's go with it. Move through, travel through a portal of some sort where you landed in a completely different place. And I saw the words blank slate. And it was like you were just outside in very bright sunlight. And I saw you sitting down. It was all very white. Like it was very much a message of like blank slate, clean slate, purity, white, freshness. And I saw you sitting there as a much older version of yourself, but it didn't feel older as in like a lot of time had passed. But I feel like it was a symbol for, what you have learned and all of your experiences, coming to full manifestation where you're sitting down and I heard you say, there's nothing more to do. There's nothing more to be done. There's nothing more to do. I've done it, and it was this very distinct feeling of relaxation, peace, and just being in and of where you were in that moment. It feels very much like a journey, but it feels like a point of personal evolution as well, where there is this distinct feeling of satisfaction and like there's nothing left undone that just feels really satisfying, like I said. So let's go ahead and see which animal it is, though, for February. It's a very particular energy when you're in a place where you don't feel the need to over-explain yourself, to prove yourself, or to, I'm getting that sense of like, how some people will feel like their worth is based on X, Y, or Z. So if someone feels like their worth is, as a friend, just as an example, that they see that their worth as a friend is based on what they can do for other people. So they're constantly offering things, offering rides, offering favors, offering, gifts, whatever that is. And they feel like if they don't have that to offer, then they're not going to be worth much as a friend, or that they won't have it. It feels like there's an evolution point around that, where you're re-examining like your point, your main crux of where your worth lies, and understanding that it has absolutely nothing to do with other people, right? And understanding that you could likely do none of those things from your past that you considered my worth was based on this, or am I gonna be wanted if I don't do this? And go, actually, all of that aside, I am okay, like just being exactly where I am with what I have and what I have to offer, and understanding that anyone who is truly worthy of what I have to offer is going to love me unconditionally, regardless of what I can or cannot do for them. There's something in that. Golden egg. I love this so much. So the golden egg, this is that, beautiful sign of spirit, right? Which is really beautiful because this also denotes, it's interesting because I saw you go through that portal and then be in this very white sage-like energy space, right? Where it's kind of like that spirit, master, ascended master kind of energy, where it's like you know what it is? It's like Gandalf. Okay, let's talk about Gandalf. How Gandalf goes from being the gray wizard to the white wizard. It's very white wizard. If you think about Gandalf, let's go with it. If you think about Gandalf as the gray wizard, he did the most. He felt the need to jump in and be like, okay, Frodo, I'm going to go find this information. Gandalf is the gray wizard, and I find it funny that no one ever talks about this. Gandalf as the gray wizard had no idea that Saruman, his dear and trusted friend and mentor Saruman, had turned to the evils. Like, sweetheart, when you were going to see Saruman to give you, and it's okay if you haven't seen Lord of the Rings, just like go with me on this. When you were going to see Saruman for advice about what to do about the Ring of Power, where was your intuition telling you that he was not a good place to go? Because it was because of that journey that you went, and he imprisoned you. He beat the crap out of you, number one. And then he left you up top where the moth had to come in, whisper sweet nothings, and the eagle had to come and save you. And Frodo was put into harm's way because you were late getting to the little pony or whatever that bar was called to meet him, the prancing pony. Where was the intuition there? This is you being in that Gandalf the White energy, where it feels like your intuition, your feelings around things, your perception is very much based on you in terms of, I'm not, looking at myself through any lens that involves anybody else, but rather I'm holding myself up to my own standards. I'm looking at what I need within for myself. That's interesting here with the golden egg, because this kind of equates to like a 2 of Cups energy as well. But I feel like this is saying, like, as you do that within for yourself, the people who are actually worthy of your time and your love are going to come to you, right? As a natural manifestation of that self-love, which 2 of Cups can absolutely represent. Right? Also, the golden egg speaks of, a point of truth and perception as well, which we've also been talking about. And it feels like you're in a beautiful place, I want to say, of what word would we get? What word would we get if we put together relaxation and alignment? What is that? Those words together, alignment. Relaxation. Okay, I'll stop there. But it feels like a point of relaxation and alignment that feels really beautiful. And I do feel like for some of you guys, it's going to be because you've hit up against the same wall enough times, whether this is a family member, a friend, a job, opportunity, whatever this is, or yourself, where you've hit up this wall, against this wall so many times that you're like, you know what, I'm going to not do that anymore. I'm going to take a break from that, go the other way, and in doing so, you not only find yourself, but like a deeper sense of contentment that you've ever known before, because it has nothing to do with anyone else but you. It's really beautiful. So we got the 10 of Wands here. I saw the 9, we have the 10. Beautiful. So 10 of Wands, I'm really drawn to the snail here, because the snail is about going at a certain slower pace, right? But also, if you think about it, the snail carries its home on its back. So that's really interesting as well, right? That's solitary energy. Snails definitely don't run in packs, right? 10 of Wands. Remember, the Wands rule the realm of the actions that we take. It's also that beautiful fire energy. So you are showing up here in your own reading as the 10, which is the last number of the cycle before it renews itself and goes to the ace. So you are at a point of completion around something. This could be I feel like it has to do with a lot of you guys for your perception, how you see things, your relationship with yourself. Stop trying to be Sisyphus. I feel like some of you guys have been Sisyphus, taking that rock and rolling it up the hill only to have it roll back down again over and over in some way, shape, or form. This could, for some of you guys, be negative self-talk. Self-critique, how you see yourself, right? Whatever way, shape, or form this is for you, right? And it's kind of like, okay, I'm carrying all of this, but I'm getting to a point where, like, I'm done with this. I'm going to put all this down, and in doing so, find the right one, the ace, on the other side of laying down this load, right? This can also denote a move from one place to another, right? Actual physical move from home to home or place to place. But this can also just talk about feeling that, maximum amount of weight, burden and effort, right? And a release from that, because it is coming up in your primary position as the past energy coming in that may affect the present. Oh my God, Aries, stop. From the 10 to the 8, stop. I love this so much. This is upward movement, ascension. This is communication, messages. This is moving way up the ladder and quickly. I'm really obsessed. Did you notice that I saw 9 of Wands in your meditation, and then we got the 10 to the 8? Yeah, like I'm obsessed. This is so beautiful. This is about moving forward, free, right? Free of anything that has bound you. But this is also you moving forward in a well-earned way, because you're moving forward free from a lot of those restricting aspects that you've placed upon yourself, old patterns, behaviors. This is just a beautiful aspect of spiritual ascension as well, where you feel more connected to your divine energy and your knowing as well, because horse medicine also speaks of astral travel, but also, spiritual ascension, spiritual travel. So it is interesting. There's an element of spiritual travel within this key as it pops up, because I saw you guys move through that portal and went from Gandalf the Gray to Gandalf the White, right? It's really beautiful. It's interesting, because how these wands are, they kind of feel like step ladders, and I saw those steps in process. I do feel like there's an aspect of, it's not just a matter of like laying down your load so that it's not as heavy. It's about laying down your load or what isn't working so that you have free hands to pick up what is. That's what it is. You know how they say, who, I never know what they mean, but who's they? Who says that? What do you mean? What's they say? But you know, there's this aspect of like, if you're busy at a job that you hate, but you're staying in out of fear because you're afraid that you're, you know, not being be able to survive or eat or get a better job that you actually love, then you're not available when the right job does come along because you're too busy in a fear-based choice and you're like, no, I'm too busy over here to even like see this better opportunity over here. Sometimes the universe waits for you to walk away or say no to something in order to free you up. Sometimes the universe goes, are they going to have faith? Are they going to say no to something that they know is not intuitively right for them, or walk away from something that they know is hurting them, causing them unhappiness, draining them of their energy? Because sometimes it oftentimes requires that we do that in order to free up that space so that what is actually the best for us comes along. Because when you stay in situations like that, whether it's a relationship or work, that is you communicating to the universe, and really what that is your higher self who orchestrates everything. That is you communicating, I am okay with accepting what does not make me happy. And the universe goes, okay, more of that then. See what I'm saying? But if you're able to break free and go, actually, I'm not okay with that. I'm terrified about doing this, but I'm going to leave this job. I'm going to leave this relationship. I'm going to leave this aspect of me that talks terribly to myself, and I'm going to seek help around it, whether that's therapy or talking to friends about it or art therapy or journaling, whatever. I'm willing to do something different around this and walk away and change things, even though change is scary, right? Something's got to change. Let it be me, right? Then you're communicating, actually, I'm willing to take a risk on myself and believe that, you know, I can, you know, attract what I'm worth, right? Because it's never about why you don't have what you want. It's about what inside of you is keeping you from it, truly. So you have the Two of Pentacles here, really beautiful. You know, the Two of Pentacles is largely about, you know, multitasking or juggling or really considering your options. Right? So it is interesting here. I do feel like in this context, what I'm getting with this is safe, like a safe bet, the known, the comfortable, and the unknown, the daring, the risk, right? I really feel like this hawk, because hawk for me equates to a Two of Wands energy, interestingly enough. Two of Wands is about, you know, having that blueprint secure and ready so that when the opportunity comes along, you can just bounce right into the Three of Wands and move on it, right? That Two of Wands is like the happy expectation in a way. And this Two of Pentacles is giving me a similar vibe, but I feel like this has to do with something that could affect you in the long term because it is the Pentacle suit, which is Earth, right? Options, decisions, choices, and crossroads. That's what I'm getting. Okay, let's get a clarifier for this Ten of Wands here. You know, with this golden egg, what I'm hearing is choose what you love. Choose who you love. Choose love. Love is always the answer. And it's true. And I'm hearing that, you know, a lot of the times it is the difference between, you know, making choices from love or making choices from fear. Maybe take time to really look at yourself and go, in what ways am I living from fear, and what ways am I living from love? A love can translate to a lot of different things, but I feel like in this context, it's like when I stay at a job that makes me unhappy and I have a toxic boss, that is a decision that I'm making out of fear because I'm afraid that if I walk away that I won't manifest something better. Or something that I can, you know, makes me happier, but I can also like sustain my lifestyle and pay the bills and take care of my family and everything else, right? Interesting. Sometimes it's becoming aware of those things as well that can start to move the boat in the right direction, right? So we have Ace of Cups here. So stunning to clarify the Ten of Wands. So Ace of this big energy here. Hello. So it's interesting because it feels like this wants to extinguish this a bit, like calm it, like root it on down, right? Like hydrate and quench. So Ace of Cups is about, first of all, it's big intuitive insights, right? Because the water rolls the realm of the emotions and intuition, right? But Ace of Cups for me is not completely dissimilar from Two of Cups, but it's really about self-love, right? It's about self-love, self-worth, self-awareness, all of the things that we've been talking about, right? Remember how we were talking about moving beyond this Ten of Wands and so that you can free up your two hands, laying down this heavy load so that your hands are free to receive what is better than any of these 10 wands that you're currently carrying for whatever reason that you are, out of fear or out of obligation or shame or whatever, or habit, right? Or whatever have you. This Ace of Cups is coming in here to say, like, if you filter things and if you really are able to observe yourself, right, through the filter of in what ways am I, serving myself, that's a huge one. Because if you are in the business of serving others and you're in the business of, asking others what they need before tending to your own needs, let me tell you something that I've learned. We can only treat others as well as we treat ourselves. That is the truth. We can only treat others as well as we treat ourselves. That's why they say, like, fill up your own cup before trying to, offer to anybody else. But the reality is that back to this two of cups here with the golden egg, it really goes to our relationship with ourselves dictates, right? The relationship that we have with other people. That's just what it is. You cannot have, a hateful, lack relationship with yourself and then really love another person fully. It's like RuPaul says, and if you know me at all, you know that I love RuPaul. If you don't love yourself, how the hell you gonna love anybody else? And that's what I feel like this is saying. If you don't love yourself, how the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen up in here? If anybody watching this loves RuPaul and Drag Race as much as I do, holla at me in the comments. Oh my God, Eight of Wands with the Two of Cups. Okay, so we've been talking about this, right? This is just like another level. It's interesting how it's depicted here with the, mermaid realness and the Ariel Eric kind of like lifestyle here. But it's interesting because she's literally coming out of the water to offer him, offer him her cup, right? And then he's offering, her hers. And it's kind of this feeling of like this freedom that occurs. We're talking about this Eight of Wands, this connection, these messages, ascension, these offers, this freedom, right? This is just another way of saying, like, remember when you allow yourself to walk away or disconnect from what isn't working or what causes you despair or is not unconditional in nature, you free up availability for those to come to you who will love you and appreciate you unconditionally, regardless of what you can or cannot do for them. That's exactly what this is saying, right? Obsessed. I'm really getting this feeling to click in with your emotions and your intuition. I feel like it needs to be hydrated in whatever way that is. For some of you guys, that could be literally taking a dip, honey. Good Lord. A dip in the ocean with that cleansing salt water, run over and cleanse your body. But I feel like for you guys, there's a distinct need for hydration. Okay, whatever way or shape that is. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, it's about hydrating yourself. And then, the natural result of that being, shared hydration. Okay, Two Pentacles. Yes. I'm so obsessed and I live. You have Two of Pentacles and then the Three of Pentacles. Okay, I'm really living for this. Let's talk. Three of Pentacles is work that you do that you are particularly skilled at, right? You particularly are good at. Your particular eye, your particular way of going about something. You're getting duly compensated and appreciated for. What did I say? That if you allow yourself to, this is going to be different for different people, but let's just go on this work example because we're dealing with pentacles here. So let's say it is, but it feels like both. It feels like relationship for a lot of you guys too, but if you are in a job that makes you unhappy, but you're afraid to leave, right? Then you're not available for the job that comes along that's going to pay you just as much or more, but actually appreciates you and doesn't require the same level of like soul suckingness, right? You're freeing up your hands for what you truly desire by being willing to say no or cut cords with what isn't working. Again, for some of you guys, this is all you. This is all you. You could have been in the same line of work for a long time that used to make you happy or used to bring you joy, but now you're starting to observe that it's feeling a bit obligatory. Why do I feel like this is obligatory now? Why? What is this about? Right? What is that about? Well, people change, things change. Maybe you're being called to do something else or a different offset of what you do or do what you do in a different way. Consider that. Really think about that. right? Because I feel like there's this other, and look at this hydration with the lily pads and the water here. I feel like there is this opportunity for renewal, turning into the white wizard, where it's this completely new reality, where you are in a place where it's just like a complete lack of anxiety, a lack of obligation. Remember what I saw you guys saying, like there's nothing left to be done. All is done, all is well. Nothing left to do, but just to be exactly where I am. That's a beautiful, beautiful feeling to be coming through for you guys. I'm getting a message around, what is that saying? A tiger never changes their stripes or spots, or I guess they have stripes, but there's something else about spots or something. Anything, any relationship, whether it be familial, friend, love, whatever have you, work, any relationship at all, or any circumstance that requires that you change who you are, or not be true to who you are, or not speak authentically, or not be heard, or whatever have you, is not your situation. That feels incredibly important to put out there and say. You know, I'm also really drawn to the lily pads here as well, because you know, the lily pads, the lotus flowers here, amongst the lily pads, which, you know, they're born of the muck and the dirt and the excrement, and they come out on top looking very beautiful. And we never really see everything that it took to get there. But I feel like you can rise from a lot of the pain, a lot of your past habits, past trauma, past losses, and really reap the benefit. You are not, this potential of where you could be and where you are is not born out of things going well. It's not born of having an easy life or a not traumatic child or a not traumatic, last year even, right? You're able to be in this place of the white wizard because you did go through the darkness. You were gray. You did get beaten about by Saruman and then left to die on top of like a cold platform, right? Right? You're being asked to free up your hands and really re-examine your relationship to what you do in your interpersonal relationships, but most of all, your relationship with yourself. That feels like rather the primary point. The golden egg, again, just this speaks of the truth. The truth that is the truth that is the truth that is equated to your heart. And the fact that the heart always knows the reality of things. Our head can lead us, askew and astray. But the heart always knows. When we're able to filter things through our heart space, even sitting with your hand on your heart as an exercise, right? And asking, how do I feel about my job? How does it make me feel? How do I feel about my, partner? How does that make me feel? How do I feel about me? And then really feel the truth of that through your heart space. I know that sounds a bit like woo-woo, but I'm telling you, like it just feels like that's the ticket here, right? Let's get an oracle. Boop. Oh, what's this? Wind, change. Look at that. Look at that realness. That's exactly what we've been talking about. The winds of change indeed. Allowing yourself to move and be change and experience change and in yourself, right? Transform and change. But I want to point something out. Is that a crow? I'm obsessed. Look at that crow. Hello. Well, crows represent change, so that's rather perfect that that's on this oracle. Do you notice how this foundation has been uprooted? And she's working with it and well, I don't want to say making, but she's encouraging it to work with her and for her as opposed to like her trying to work within the confines of the previously, built foundation or formed foundation. This is also saying allowing yourself to go with the flow of where you are in any given moment. Just because you used to love someone or something or used to see yourself in a certain way, it's always a good thing to take a present assessment of things, especially coming out of this, last year that we had. What within you has changed? What about your perspective has changed? What about your relationship with yourself has changed? What has stayed the same? Where is there room for change? Where is it, right? You're being asked to take a self-diagnostic at this time, right? But also, we can take this quite literally because you guys are the emperor, right? Emperor is more of a rigid energy. It's more of a black and white, and there's one right way to do something, right? Not that all Aries, are like that, but that is the archetypical energy in the emperor, right? So I do feel like there's an energy here of, examining your relationship to change as well. Feels incredibly important, but not just important. I want to say fruitful and beneficial. I feel like a lot of good is born out of that introspection. of your relationship to change over the course of your life. I mean, starting from the very beginning, right? As humans, it is natural for us to crave stability and security and have the answers, right? And last year just kind of went, nope, try again. We're going to just completely shake up that foundation. And you're being asked, oh, hello, sound effect. You're being asked to just from where you are, how am I doing around the change that's occurred? Where am I right now, right? Where am I coming out of obligation? Where am I coming out of pure passion, desire, and love? That's the question for you, Aries. I think there's a lot of potential for happy newness on the other side of this as well, and that's really beautiful. I want to hear, it may not be time to retire, but you can feel as happy in your work as if you are retired. Meaning you're doing it simply for the love of it. And the money is just a happy byproduct of that love that you fuel into it, right? Beautiful. All right, Aries, woo woo. This is your February general reading. I so hope this helped and resonated. If so, please do let me know in the comments below. I just absolutely love reading your comments. And with that being said, just thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your continued support. And most of all, and as always, thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.